Greetings, tax aficionados. Welcome to another Depreciation Pro video. In this video, we will highlight what it looks like to import your data from a third-party vendor, whether that be your tax software of choice or your current fixed asset product. We recognize that importing those data can be a tremendous pain point in even considering new innovative softwares to work with. So we have done our best to make that very easy. Let's just choose a 2025 return. And you can see here, there are actually 9 third-party options that we support right out of the box. There are 2 CCH options right here. And let's just go ahead and click Bloomberg. Now, for each of these options, we give instructions on how to export those data that will end up being generally a CSV in Excel, sometimes a text file, and which you will get to drag and drop right down here. So we'll pull out a Bloomberg test file. Here we go. And what you'll see now is something that'll be very familiar to the general upload process that you experience in the general importing of data, which we highlighted in several other videos, most notably perhaps the one where we demonstrate that 10,000 assets came into our system in under 24 seconds. In this case, there's a thin layer that looks at those data, says, oh, we expect to see Bloomberg characteristics, and we go and assign things accordingly. That doesn't stop our AI from keeping confidence in things that could be iffy, and we'll just bring in the columns here. This is for our column mapping. But even while that column mapping was going on, we already analyzed the underlying assets. And so what you can see here are the assets being brought in, lots of greens and a couple yellows. So yellows are warnings, and there are a few of note. First, it looks like this file didn't have any disposals in it. We expect Bloomberg tax exports to include disposals. We didn't see any, so we're calling that out. The second, this is pretty fun in that we raise flags for things that are atypical. Non-blocking, but atypical. For instance, this office furniture was set to a 7-year recovery period. We think that, well, we kind of assumed that it was going to be 5-year personal property coming under the macros guidance. So of note, we are not going to block the import of those data. We recognize that if a new client is coming over from previously working with another firm, perhaps that other firm, I'm not going to say made mistakes, but maybe they made some atypical choices in how they were characterizing the fixed assets. We recognize that sometimes those atypical choices cannot be modified, or you would choose not to modify them for a variety of reasons, and that your software should not block their reality. Our software does not. But if you want to modify it, you can certainly do so. For instance, we can modify that and change that period right here in here as well. Look, I misclicked and messed something else up by just clicking through. Let's fix that before we import. And then you get to commit those rows, and now last little step, there were no states there, so you could skip and assign the states later, or you could apply to all the 10 assets. Lots of flexibility there. Finally, you would commit and import, and that would bring you to the standard asset list where you're actually doing the tax analysis for your fixed asset product. That is how easy it is to get these data into our system. Thanks very much for your time. As always, ask questions, leave comments. We look forward to hearing from you.